like that. So ice rod on laser bridge is a cliche. It's a cliche I've been witness to, along with a fire rod on there, which was completely awful. But no rods in Turtle Rock, please. Welcome to Stoops Long's house.
I don't know what that specifically is a joke to.
Long, as far as I know, is a very, very stupid Link face. We've got some bombs in the chest, so even if he didn't have the boots, that would make the back of escape pretty. You don't have to do any farming for that. Long is a stupid Link face, and Stoops, I don't know, something about Stoops waffles, I think, but I'm not sure what that is. I'm not up with my references. Uncle just used a piece of heart.
No, we didn't get any early map checks, so it's going to be a few minutes before we see what our Light World crystal count is. Not a lot going on here as we start things off. Just a little bit of cash, a little bit of money, and a little bit of love. Nice navigation there by Mr. Scruff Ninja 2 getting around those guards with boots.
If there was any variance in the hitboxes, we could say that GFV has like the biggest hitbox and the greatest chance to be hit by guards, whilst the Fear Agent is just kind of like a little miniature Link and it would be almost impossible to hit, but the game doesn't work that way.
Yeah, actually, we're going to get a little into Paradox territory when Laria reaches Zelda's cell, I just realized.
I mean, they're different timeline Zeldas. You've got the Link to the Past Zelda here hiding down here, which I think is also the same Zelda that you get in the Oracle games. But then the Zelda she is playing as is, I think, the Twilight Princess Zelda.
Seems very close too. Fair enough.
Yeah, GFE is, of course, playing his favorite sprite, the Nest sprite from Earthbound. Scruff Ninja Jr. is some kind of Goomba. You should honestly go stomp on his head. And Fear Agent, as mentioned, is a miniature Link. So if you've ever played the miniature cap, when you go into miniature form, you just kind of become this like a very minuscule sprite with a bobbing Link chatbot above him. So that's him right there.
Yeah, we're still kind of having a bit of a slow start here as we go through Escape with just extra bombs in the second chest and the key, the small key in the first one. So yeah, still a really barren start here by comparison to typical standards. Ooh, GFE's got to take it a little easy here with this ball and chain guard. Laria's not doing much better.
He can top up from the hearts from those pods if he wanted to, but he's just continuing on. If he was to take a death here, I believe he would lose Zelda and get warped back to the front of the castle, and he'd have to go and retrieve her again. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah, because you still need her to push the back wall over to get to Dark Cross.
I mean, if he could just die with Zelda in tow and then bring her to the front of the castle that way, then everybody would do it. And that's not something I've ever seen done. I don't think I've ever seen anybody die in the escape with Zelda. It's one of those things that you hope to never see. And I'm very lucky that I've never witnessed it, and I hope to never witness it. Of course, I'm jinxing myself by saying that, but...
yeah, I was about to say, GFE's still only got one. I was about to say, GFE's only got one heart, so might be getting to see your wish come true. Might be getting to see your jinx come true here in a minute, but looks like he's gotten through just fine.
So Vivian in chat points out that if you die once you've got the door open, you get sent to the front, but you can still get back through the door with Zelda in tow. And that is something I've seen happen. Deaths in the dark can happen if you can't see what's going on. Just before Dark Cross, there's a particular room filled with a lot of snakes and rats and bats, which can prove pretty deadly. But in this case, this being a casual start, essentially a retooling of standard, we have got a light torch available to us, specifically only for this escape sequence. Once you get out of the escape sequence, it disables itself, and you have to find the lamppost normal. And there's a shovel, which makes the Kakarika check just a little bit longer. You probably want to be checking out the race game rather than gambling on it, and if there's something on the race game, you can then go for it. Otherwise, you just go dash over and check that shuffle immediately. That's what I would do.
It's kind of hilarious. Our Our trackers this afternoon haven't had anything to do for the last 5 minutes, and the first thing comes up, it's a fetch quest.
I mean, you do a lot of set and set free seeds, and unfortunately on that, you can't. There's no space to put the shovel on. Imagine if you had a tracker where you could put on every single E-tank and missile and super missile, as well as all the pieces of heart and fetch quests and everything else. Lots of work.
Yeah, and also should be noted that we do have the map is in the sanctuary this time around, so our runner should be zipping right out of the area.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody decides to go open that chest or not. If they open a chest, they lose themselves a couple seconds. GFP avoids it, so it looks like a runner's all synced up, and he's going to be the second one about to escape. It looks like Fear Agent also avoided the chest.
Looks like we've got 3 crystals in the light world with a red crystal in Tower of Hera.
Quite interesting. That also raises your chances of Pendant turtle work, which I know you don't want to see.
Yeah, as somebody who's been doing a lot of SMZ3, yeah, Pendant TR has been a little too common lately. But early boots checks, Bonk Rock's here not giving us more than another heart piece, but which is enough to give a full heart container. So we've gotten enough heart pieces for a heart container, a little bit of cash, plenty of bombs as evidenced by that tree pole.
Scruff Ninja Jun is going for the slightly unorthodox approach of going to the south before doing Kakariko, which I think I've seen him do before. It's a particular favourite of his. That did not look like anything at Lumberjack. I didn't quite catch what it was. It looked like a piece of heart or rupees.
Yeah, it was a heart piece, definitely.
Vanilla then. But yeah, in a general standard or open mode seed, you won't usually have the boots this early in the race, and checking at the Lumberjack is something that you often won't see in this case. But having the boots just makes the routing in the Lumberjack quite a bit quicker. You often see runners, when you do get the boots, go and check it out when they're going up Death Mountain or just much later on in the race. But you've got the boots ready, go check it out. And that is a blue male in the Thieves' Hideout in Lost Woods. So a bit of early game defenses, it's not bad. Scruff Ninja Tuna pulls up 100 rupees from the dam, so that covers all of his cash for Kakariko, which is good for him if none of runners find cash in Kakariko.
I wasn't aware there were clothing stores in Hyrule. Apparently thieves can loot those too.
Well, if you go by later Zelda games, you tend to get your clothing stores in all like the far-flung reaches of the world. You have to go visit you have to go find your way through a waterfall and discover a kind of a hidden domain of fish people just to go get yourself some blue clothing. It's really not consumer friendly.
Well, it looks like of the 2 high-density checks we got, looks like so far South Shore was the bigger one because it had a half magic. Everything else in Blind's Hideout was junk. Except bottle vendor cash, that's about it.
Yeah, half magic is really nice, although you can't actually do anything with half magic right now, but it'd be great one to get something that you can use it with. Hopefully not lamp.
In before Fire Rod shows up.
If I were a nice cave, I would take it.
Well, that's not Fire Rod, but a bow is certainly something our runners want to see.
And that's a power glove in Icefall Cave. I'll take that too.
We got our single arrow of destiny and a Quake medallion in the bottom of the well as well, so now we can finally take advantage of that half magic.
A Quake medallion is a pretty nice medallion to have. It doesn't unlock any. Well, it doesn't get you into, say, like Ice Palace or anything, but it will either kill enemies really quickly or just turn them into harmless slimes. It's great for like particularly hostile rooms when you have a limited loadout.
Or dead rocks.
And it might also get you into Pendant Turtle Fox, so you know.
Yeah, or dead rocks. I've noticed that Breath of the Wild must have been around here because there is so much chopped wood here. We've gotten so many sticks as items so far. It's ridiculous.
Scruff Ninja Tuna taking advantage of those boots to set up the water walk going in so you can check out the waterfall cave. And it's actually taking the whirlpool back so you can just go check out the hobo rather than seeing what's on King Zora. Probably wants to leave it for later when he's got more cash because I I think he can celebrate Water Walk to check out the item. Well, at least grab the item if that's blocked by the waterfall. But it's really, really tricky, and I do not remember how it's done.
I think it's like a double water walk.
Well,
Oh,
if you wanted to get into the waterfall cave by fake flippering, there's a moon pole on Hobo.
yeah. So Dark World access is Flipper's lock today. Fascinating. If you'll pardon my Spock. Just cash on the library, so...
Oh, okay, this is Flippers.
Oh! Well... Remind me again where Shovel was Dark Crawl. Oh, yeah, so everybody's gonna get those. And this is right after Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna got that, so it's like, really? I was only out of logic for 2 minutes?
Yeah, it's there's not much potential for sequence breaks here because all these the logical chain of items here is pretty easy to get to.
All right, so the seed's starting to come to life a little bit here. So we've got a good chunk of Eastern we can do. If we had a fire source, we could logically get to the boss. Now, granted, runners of this caliber normally don't have any issues with dark rooms, but hey, there's a hammer and a bottle in the back of Sahasra's closet with a shield.
Yep, that's the 11-minute Dark World access. Not quite for GFE because he hasn't checked out the Hobo yet, but that will come in due time.
Oh yeah, how about that? So, despite having definitely one of the most barren Kakarikos and South Shores I've seen besides Ice Rod Cave, now we're starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, the seed is looking pretty jet so far. I do like it. And yeah, this is a full dungeon available to GFE that he can clear. It's not in logic, but the dark rooms in Eastern Palace are some of the easiest ones. Even I can get through them.
Yeah,
and that's saying a lot.
And worst case scenario, there's that Quake medallion, so you could just Quake the rooms.
Like the Quake would do. Like the most dangerous things in the Eastern Palace dark rooms are the anti-fairies that go around the square formation room. And if you are a little bit slow for your movements, you'll go bumbling into them and they will drain your health and your magic. Quite annoying. I don't think the Quake medallion would do anything to them. You can powder them, but I don't think Quake does anything to them. But that said, it's an interaction I haven't really tested out in probably 15 years, so I don't know for sure.
I don't think Quake works on anti-fairies. But yeah, now with Flippers already in tow, we can now get the item on Zora Ledge, as well as Zora himself, once we finally get some cash here, because we're still a little bit low in that department. I would wager we might see like maybe a bomb back of escape Houlihan trick after Eastern from somebody. It certainly would get the majority of the remaining rupees.
Yeah, and that's a pretty quick way to... That's probably the quickest way to get into Houlihan, and it's available to you really early on with having those early gloves. Yeah,
not to mention Flippers make the, I think, one of the more original strategies of tossing yourself into the water not exactly feasible, and it does look like we have a lamp-locked Eastern Palace today. Because I don't recall seeing the big key, and I think it's been a couple of items, but nothing of exceptional note yet still.
Yeah, Eastern Palace will always be lamp-locked because you've got, when you go through the big key door in the back, you've got a dark room to get through, and in that dark room, you've got to kill one of the Igors to grab a small key to continue up the stairs where it's no longer dark. So it'll always be lamp-locked either way.
Well, that particular path can be done with Fire Rod. It's the vanilla big key that has to be lamp locked. But yeah, as since the big key does appear to be vanilla today, given that GFE just passed up the big chest, yeah, it's got to be fire locked today. Bit unfortunate, but not the biggest deal.
Especially discounting that because of course we don't have a Fire Rod.
And let's see where Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna goes right now. I think he's going to go just finish checking the Lost Woods, and I'm going to be interested to see if he decides to make an early... Well, he actually doesn't have Hammer yet, so he's got to go visit Sahasrara either way.
Yeah, he can go up to Death Mountain and get the save point at any rate, and he doesn't... the Hammer wouldn't do anything for him on Death Mountain, but at least he can check a few items up there.
Yeah, you can at least peek inside Spectacle Rock. That's about it.
So he's
By
now
lot.
heading up to Death Mountain now, which I was going to expect after dipping into the Lost Woods. In fact, he is doing something of a blue guards here, but I think he's on his way to Eastern Palace, so he's going to get his hammer pretty shortly.
I think he's trying to grab a few extra rupees if possible, because I think the guards are in the guards and the snakes were in the rupee pool today. If my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, I was not paying attention to guard drops, so I'm not sure. It seems that the little tentacled things in Eastern Palace drop a lot of bombs, because that was 3 bomb drops for GFE.
Certainly, and I think actually we got our first green pendant hint of the day here. The green pendant is in Misery Mire today, so that's a pretty, suffice to say, out-of-the-way green pendant.
Yeah, you probably won't see that being any item of worth because it, like I said, it's out of the way and you need quite a few steps to get into Missing Maya and complete it. So probably worthless green pendant unless it's got a rod of some kind and Turtle Rock is a crystal.
Yeah, still a 2 out of 6 chance on that front, so it's still quite possible. But GFE drawing first blood here, getting the first crystal off of the Armos Knights.
He's taking the 7 crit, so this looks like he's going to be doing his flippers checks next. So he's also going to be getting his moon pearl pretty shortly.
I would wager after this, most likely a trip to, I would actually wager a Hype Cave check is going to be next up on the list, since that's usually one of the first things you do once you get the conventional Hammer Glove Pearl package.
It's difficult to say who of our runners is ahead at the moment. So I think Lauria is lagging a little bit behind because they're just doing their Sahar checks now. But they have got that moon pearl from the hobo. And GFE has finished at Eastern Palace, has got to do all of his South of Hyrule checks, whilst Scruffton Jr. is just a little bit ahead of the agent here in Eastern Palace.
Yeah,
both of them have that moon pearl.
Yeah, everybody's kind of just starting to converge a little, catch up on each other, because the sea really has railroaded everybody to Eastern Palace, although Laria has decided to nope out of Eastern, given that it's technically an non-logically clearable dungeon, so is going to actually be our first one into the Dark World.
Unusual decision. Perhaps doesn't feel too comfortable with doing a dark room. So that room at the back with the Igor can be a bit tricky if you get off with your movements. I find the safest way to do it is just to get in line with the Igor and just use some arrows to clear all the little tentacled things in the way. Run up until you know you've activated the Igor, then run down and spam arrows because you can't actually kill the Igor until it starts moving. So if you're just sitting there spamming, you eventually kill it because it's moving towards you.
Fair enough.
There's that fire rod. It's right there in Hype Cave.
All right, I'd say that's fairly hype. Not the actually Fire Rod actually is pretty hype, because not only is that the ability to clear Pendant Skull Woods, thanks game. The other pendant being ice and Turtle Rock being a red crystal, but it does act as a valid light source now for front of pod. The ability to, well, no, not Eastern. We still need lamp, but yeah, it's a valid partial light source. So I would say 4.5 to 5 out of 10.
We've also now got a potential for green pendant trolls or other kind of trolls, because now we're going to have to do an ice rod hunt, and that ice rod could be anywhere.
Pretty much.
Oh dear, Turtle Rock.
Stumpy here giving us a Bombos medallion. So that's a big one, because that could be that could save on some medallion RNG for later. We do have Fire Rod already and flippers, so we're literally just looking for an extra glove, and then we can head straight into ice. You want to do that this early? I don't think so.
I only know of one madman who likes to dip Ice Palace early, and like I said, he's a madman. I definitely would not do it without Kane of Smire to shortcut my way through the dungeon.
Fair enough. This is an awful lot of digs here for Laria, and it's only for a big 20. I lost count it was definitely close to 25 digs. That was not a good dig game.
And takes a save and crit before the digging game proprietor has the time to say, "Hey, you've done enough digging. Get out." But yeah, we are going to need a Cane of Samaya for this seed, because Turtle Rock is a crystal. So I would definitely be on the hunt for Cane of Samaya before dipping into Ice Palace. I'm saying this because I still cannot do Icebreaker because I'm a bad player. But if I could do Icebreaker and Diver Down, then I would totally go for that Samaya before Ice Palace. It just saves so much time in there.
Yeah, with Swamp being a crystal as well, I would wager we're going to see some Diver Down action regardless if Kane is found or not. Oh, that's a nice... why is the sick kid giving us his shirt?
Has he been wearing that underneath those sheets? That's going to be like all sweaty and filled with illness and such. That's like, no thank you.
Interesting.
Red pajamas.
But yeah, red mail right around the time of Dark World diving is actually really good news for Laria, because yeah, the Dark World is not friendly, especially even with 7 hearts at this point.
GFE grabs his moon pole, Scruff Ninja Tuna finishes holding up a crystal, and the agent starts holding up a crystal. So all 3 of them are kind of at the same level of progress, really. Scruff Ninja Tuna is not taking a saving crit out of the Eastern Palace. He's going to take the Dark World portal down there. Good choice.
He may decide to take an early dip into Pod here, which we do know that everywhere in front of Pod is perfectly in logic, regardless of bow lock, and since we have Fire Rod, so...
And if you're comfortable with the dark rooms in Pod are quite a bit trickier. You can finish the dungeon.
Very true. We could have Lamp in Pod, given the circumstances as well. But, ooh, Laria just managing to salvage that back of the brewery bomb there. Nicely done.
See? Oh, there's that King of Samaya. Perfect.
Ask and thy shall receive.
We've got Scruff and Tuna and Agent doing very similar routes here. Both of them are going to be heading into Pod right now, seeing that it is crystal. And it's a dungeon they can complete just like Eastern Palace. I missed what the item on the Sora ledge was on GFE side, unfortunately. He was heading in that direction. Did you catch it?
It wasn't anything of note. I think it was either a hard piece or a big 20. Either way, not important. And chat's confirming it was a hard piece. But it looks like Larry is going to give us a Thieves Town play. I'm actually surprised she's not dipping into Skull Woods, considering that is a full clearable dungeon with our current equipment.
Right, but it's a pendant, and you've only got 2 items up there. I would do especially since you have the hammer for Thieves Town, I'd definitely do a full clear Thieves Town before even thinking of going up to Skull Woods. Because you can full clear this dungeon no matter what, and it's a crystal, so you've got to do it anyway.
Fair enough, but I have seen the Skull Woods big chest, the big chest in particular, burn runners so many times in the past.
Oh yeah, I've seen it too, but it's definitely something I would deprioritize at the moment. There's a lot of other stuff you can do, like Pod here's tasty, Thieves Town here's tasty. There's quite a few better choices than going into Skull Woods right now.
Fair enough, and it looks like Pod wasn't bow locked early key. And I absolutely just missed what that fourth chest had.
GP looks like he's going to be committing to a bit more Dark World overworld here before dipping into dungeons, which is fine. You've got the boots to get yourself around much more quickly than possible. So you can check out the pyramid here, you can check out the catfish. It doesn't take too much time, but it could be time spent getting into possibly go. Oh, that's a mirror up there.
Ooh,
that is handy for GFE. Definitely handy.
Yeah, that gives us King's Tomb actually, as well as Graveyard Ledge, amongst a couple of other things.
So if we can find that ice rod in a particularly nice location, that's going to be a pretty quick go mode, all things considered.
Yeah, we're not.
And I was hoping for a jet seed. I want to see that ice rod soon, please.
We're not looking for too much, given we have 2 medallions. Let's assume we don't need ether. We're looking for biologic, of course. Lamp, ice rod. We can possibly skip flute.
Hookshot too.
Lamp, ice rod, and hookshot. Honestly, are the only 3 big question marks.
And I think most runners, if they had go mode without the lamp, would probably be saying, "Nah, we'll just go for the dark rooms." If I have to open up a web browser and look up the dark rooms manually to get through them, so be it.
Oh my.
I think probably the trickiest dark room is the basement of Mizumaya, where you have to place the crystal block on there comes my block on the switch, and if you're a little imprecise with your movements, it's really easy to get off track there, especially if the Medusas and their fireballs start knocking you around. It's pretty tricky, in my personal opinion. Yeah?
I gotta stop you for a sec, because I just noticed on GFE's screen, when he was getting that first key out of pod, he definitely hammer dashed into the skull, but the skull did not disappear. I hope I'm not the only one who caught that. That was weird, to say the least.
Looks like Thieves Town, yeah. Just 50 rupees from the big chest.
Yeah, a bit of a dungeon diving so far, not proving to be particularly lucrative, especially considering pod has 5 items, assuming they're all before Helmasaur King.
Yeah, it's dungeons you've got to do anyway, so you don't waste too much time, like, getting all the items in the dungeons, like a pod. If you're going into pod and go mode, there's quite a good potential to skip a lot of stuff, depending on where that big key is.
Blind with the puns, not sure she can make it to the beach.
Yeah, this would be a pretty safe blind with Red Mail, and no Mail of Swords is going to help you with blind. He takes the same amount of damage from your swords or other offensive weapons, like, say, the hammer, Ivocaine. There's a cape from blind, so that makes going up to Bumper Ledge after Thieves Town quite a good choice.
Yeah, it's a bummer that Larry is not packing her mirror in tow with her, because that would allow her to get to integrate Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb with that, but Mirror's a little out of the way, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, you'd probably be more likely to see her go around and from the top here and maybe go down to the pyramid afterwards and grab that mirror. Otherwise, she'll be taking save and crit probably from here and going elsewhere. See what she does. Oh, that's a Titan's Bits on the Bumper Ledge.
I would say that's definitely very, very important. Because that's another one of our big go mode checklist items off the table. Unfortunately, well, actually, the good news is we still don't have logical access to Death Mountain anyway, so we don't even need to start thinking about things like Paradox Cave. With Mirror in tow, we do need to think about Swamp, though. Because we may have a hookshot in Swamp. Yeah, we have a very peculiar scenario on hand here.
GP was struggling with a hammer jump there in pod, and it's kind of unnecessary if you're doing it in non-key sanity, because you can just go do the other checks first and grab your keys, and it doesn't really... Well, he hasn't got them to mirror from... Wait, I think he did grab the mirror from Pyramid, because that's he's the only one that's checked out the Pyramid, right? Just
right.
Not on his tracker, yeah. So he has that mirror. That makes his pod routing pretty simplistic, so... It doesn't really matter if he can't do the hammer jump, because he can just mirror from the big chest and then go back and go do Helmasaur after. So he's in a good spot. He really didn't need to do a hammer jump there, so he just wastes a little bit of time trying to do it, and I'm not really successful.
So it looks like you were right when you said runners would have no problem with the pod darkrooms, because Fear Agent's already taken out Helmasaur and is going back in. I guess he left an item behind.
Yeah, you will often see some runners just go straight to Helmasaur or clear him out, and if he drops a item, then he can just say you're going to the left side first, and you haven't picked up the map or compass, and you've done your chests, and then you've got a big chest left or the harmless hell raid left. You can just say, okay, yeah, I can skip this. I can just leave a dungeon immediately. Whereas if you've done all those checks first, and then you're going to Helmasaur after, and you know he's got the map or the compass, it's just kind of feels bad because you know you've wasted a little bit of time. So going to Helmasaur first when you know it's a crystal is a really good choice, I think.
I'm actually trying to think, given what we know, given with our current equipment, given that we still don't have logical Death Mountain access, we're actually down to really only 2 locations where we could have more progression, and that is Catfish, which I don't think we saw yet, and 3, sorry, Catfish, Swamp, and Pendant Skull Woods. Take your pick, really.
Yeah, in that case, I would definitely be thinking of dipping into the Pendant Skull Woods. You've got crystal dungeons available to you. You want to do those crystal dungeons, and those crystal dungeons have got a lot of items. But after that, then you can think about things like Pendant Skull.
Yeah, I would say, given that we have Mirror, maybe hold off on Pendant Skull Woods until the book shows up, just so you can integrate a pet check into that. But I don't know. This is It's kind of that weird scenario where there's not much that could be on pedestal at this point besides Medallion and Ice Rod.
Fear Agent gets a hammer jump done pretty quickly to get to the big chest, and this speeds up his checks in the left side of pod quite significantly. The main reason you would see the hammer jump is, of course, to speed up your checks here. If you don't have to backtrack back through the maze or anything like that, then you save quite a lot of time in pod. But it's not a deal breaker. What is a deal breaker would be like a pod in key sanity, where you really want to clear the dungeon with limited keys. Like hammer jump is a super important trick for key sanity. It can make you clearing your key sanity seeds much faster if you don't need to track down 5 or 6 pod keys.
Yeah, pod. I think besides GT, I think pod has the most small keys of any dungeon. I think GT has. Or does GT also have 6? I always lose count of GT small keys.
I think GT has like 4 small keys that can be in the world, but it has more small keys in total, but a bunch of them are like taken from the dungeon itself in like pods and such.
Okay, so yeah, GT only has 4. Chat's enlightening me on that. So yeah, it is definitely pod's got the most keys by far.
Yeah, but that's key sanity, and what we're dealing here is casual. No key sanity shenanigans here.
Which, to be fair,
but if you know a trick like hammer jump, do take advantage of it.
And on the subject of casual, it has actually been a fairly gentle seed, all things considering. Not much being asked in the way of needing to tank a lot of damage in a short time. And even if you do need to tank a lot of damage in a short time, the game has provided you with a fairly free red mail so far. But yeah, that's Helmasaur King down for everybody except Laria. And I would... I'm not sure, given that she bailed out of Eastern, I'm not sure if she's going to fully... if she's going to go all the way down to Helmasaur or bail out after checking everything else.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable with dark rooms, the pod dark rooms are particularly tricky, especially if you're on your way to Helmasaur, because you've got that turtle room where you have to kill all the turtles inside, and because the turtles always follow your character's movements in the room, you can sort of like bait them into a pattern and just flip them all over and kill them that way. But if you get off with your movements, they're going to start going all over the place, and then it gets pretty tricky, and those turtles are mean. So if you're not comfortable with dark rooms, definitely skip out on going to Helmasaur.
Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is stopping for a moment here, it looks like.
Yeah, he's taking a long pause. I think something might be interrupting him in real life. I'll just go check the race from quickly.
Yeah, I don't see anything in the race time chat.
Probably in real life striking, which is unfortunate, but okay, looks like he's back now.
All right, he's back.
So he was quite a bit ahead of Fear Agent here, but now Fear Agent has taken lead due to that unfortunate in real life interruption I imagine he's had. But really depends on where he decides to go. Perhaps Scruff Ninja Tuna will find... perhaps he'll go to Pendant Skullwoods and find something there. It looks like he's on his way to the pyramid now, rather than going to Beast Town like the agent did. So he's going to get that mirror pretty shortly, and that will help him.
Yeah, it looks like GFE, on the other hand, is going to dip Pendant Skullwoods. So yeah, it's we're down to either this, Catfish, or... we also haven't seen King's Tomb, which now we can access twice over with Titan's Mitts. It's either this, it's either King's Tomb, Catfish, Pendant Swamp, or Pendant Skullwoods, rather, or Swamp Palace. Take your pick.
Yeah, having that mirror, it makes his Skullwoods a little bit faster, and also not having the fire rods, it means he can't get into the back, so he's only going to be checking out the front here. If like both items are in the back, then he could be wasting quite a lot of time here going for those, but it's not going to be a possibility for him right now. But there's that lamp.
Okay, so Lamp and Pendant Skullwood. So that at least kind of tapes this logic chain back together a little bit. So Fire Rod didn't need to be used as a logical light source by the looks of things. We could just waltz into Skullwoods and grab it.
Looks like Laria is going to give one of the dark rooms in pod a go. So she's going to go into the dark maze here, which is something I took a death in when I last did practice seed, because if you can't find your way around, well, you can find a way around, but if those Kudongas can mess with you, they do pretty high damage. And I think I was on Green Mail at the time, so I took a fire breath, I walked into one, and I went dead.
Yeah, they do hurt quite a lot. We are getting catfish check, and actually with that lamp, Death Mountain is now accessible.
Oh, hang on. It looks like GFE does have that fire rod because he simply equipped it there to take care of the Gibdos in that room to make the statue pull a fair bit easier.
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, he's been to Hype Cave. He did get that fire rod.
I think just about. I think actually the only two that haven't been to Hype Cave are Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna and Fear Agent at this point. I don't think he's been to Hype Cave yet.
Scruff Ninja Tuna is taking that 870 rupees over to King Zora, so this is the first sword check.
Indeed, it is. So, is it a scam? Is it a steal? Is it a? It's a scam.
Big time scam.
But yeah, with the pretty much the entirety of Death Mountain open to us, minus really just Hookshot, the top 3 chests of Hookshot Cave, suddenly pretty much the whole world's opened up. And actually, I'm trying to think. We have Kane and Fire Rod and Mitts. We could actually get all the way to Laser Bridge and Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, there's potential. Depending on how small keys are in Turtle Rock, you could get all the way to Laser Bridge even without the fire rod. But right now, there's no way to get to... well, you can get to Laser Bridge, actually, because now you've got the mirror to get up there, plus the hammer. So, yeah, you've potentially got all of Turtle Rock available to you.
Yeah, which I know these runners don't want to do yet until they find Ice Rod. They would much rather try and get as much elsewhere done first, I would wager. But I don't know. The fact that we can... there's a 66% chance we can get in the front door, assuming we don't need ether. This is going to be very interesting. We can also now full clear Red Crystal Hera. Although with TR being the other Red Crystal, I doubt we're going to have anything important on Pyramid Fairy, because... Well, actually... Hookshot's not needed for Turtle Rock, is it?
It's not needed to get to it unless... it's not needed to get to Turtle Rock, and it can speed you up in the room on the right where you light up the torches, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, I just say that because there's a very... It's a slim chance, but we could have Hookshot on Pyramid Fairy.
GFE has finished off Morphula in Skullwoods. The Fire Rod of Half Magic proved particularly useful for him. He just gets a hard container for Morphula, so Skullwoods is kind of a bust. Lamp keeps in logic, but it's not a strict requirement. If you can complete the base of it without Lamp, you really want to complete it without Lamp. But at least having that Lamp, it means he won't possibly run into any trouble in other dark rooms. For I don't think he's got many dark rooms to deal with now, actually.
Yeah, we can't access Meyer yet because we're still missing Flute, but that's all we're pretty much missing, and possibly Ether. But
yeah, and it's just a Pendant anyway.
Yeah, I don't think our runners are worried too much about finding Ether in particular anyway. At least they won't be until they check Turtle Rock. There's
the one dark room in Turtle Rock, but that one's pretty easy without the lamp. So that lamp really doesn't do anything for GFE. The Skullwoods play was kind of a bust for him.
To clarify one thing in chat, the Hookshot is needed for the seed, but it's not needed for Turtle Rock. Given that Turtle Rock is a red crystal, and Hera is the other red crystal, and Hookshot is not required for either dungeon, there is a possibility we could have something on a Hookshot on Pyramid Fairy this seed.
If nothing else, you always need a hookshot for Ganon's Tower to get across to Moldom 2's chest.
Right.
Yes. Unless you are some kind of filthy person who knows how to do filthy tricks and can just get across that gap without a hookshot.
Like hovering, or the famous, or Aussie 101's patented Moldorm bomb jump.
Filthy tricks. Give me that hookshot every time.
All right, Furious is going to go grab that fire rod.
That. Right there in the King's Tomb.
All right, well, there's our rods, and that was locked by Titan's Myth, so that's a Force Thieves Town clear before going to pick those up. Actually, that's Thieves Town to Cape to King's Tomb. Oh, actually, no, wait. Cape doesn't make a difference for King's Tomb. What am I saying? Oh, no, wait. Cape does lead to King's Tomb because Mitts were on Bumper Ledge. Interesting chain. Not a trolley one, but interesting.
Absolutely no reason to go up to Death Mountain before it, so it's not too bad, actually.
Well, now we absolutely could have Hookshot on Pyramid Fairy, given that we literally have the Turtle Rock care package at this very moment.
Yep. Worst case scenario, we could also have Hookshot on pedestal, and I absolutely love the pedestal text for Hookshot. I've only seen it once before. It's boing boing. I think it's a reference to when you pick up the Hookshot in the vanilla version of the game, as well as also in Ocarina of Time when you pick up the Hookshot. Boing boing.
Maybe. Yeah, Hookshot could also be on pedestal, but it really depends on Ice Palace. Because I know there's a couple of circumstances if the keys aren't set correctly, which Ice Palace does need Hookshot.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a potential bugbear. But hopefully Hookshot is not going to be in a trolley location. It's going to be in a nice location, and we have a jet seed, like I was hoping for.
Yeah, actually, Hookshot, assuming Ether is not needed for Turtle Rock, will be... Well, it's either... Actually, we don't need
you
don't need
Hookshot for Turtle Rock at all. You can there's one gap that you can get over with a Hookshot, but you can also just place a Cane of Samai platform there to get across it anyway.
Yeah, the only mandate we need for Hookshot right now is Swamp. That's it. And GT, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So I think I'll probably be doing Turtle Rock before diving into Swamp Pass for Hookshot, but it could see decisions made either way there. It's not great.
Yeah.
We're really hoping that Hookshot just comes across somewhere else.
Yeah, ideally they want to find their go mode before dipping TR, just so that way they can waltz over to GT as soon as they're finished. And we have, I think actually, Fear Agent's our first old man rescue, and has a big 20 for the trouble.
He's setting up a super speed on the stairs, and then immediately gets hit by a Brussels sprout from the sky and loses a super speed, so has to just use boots the regular way. What a loss!
And the mountain has decried, "You will eat your green vegetables."
You've got a bee in a bottle inside Spectacle Rock. Nobody's going to grab that, considering you already checked out Sick Kit for Red Mail.
You got a fair point. Although extra bottles certainly don't hurt. Although we're doing fairly solid on health. We're now 11 hearts in Fear Agent's case. 11 hearts Red Mail.
You've got really solid health. You've got half magic. You've got Red Mail. Like the only thing that could there's nothing a bottle would help you now. You're looking for swords to help you with your offensive loadout.
Yeah, that's
and bottles definitely would help you with swords. You can't hold a bottle in a sword.
Yeah, fair enough. The bottles do not act as tennis rackets in this game. That wouldn't be a thing until Ocarina of Time. But actually, yeah, you and Chad both mentioned it now. We still have not seen a second sword, despite what we have seen. And we've seen a lot.
Yeah, that is one other thing we'd need for go mode, as chat points out. A second sword. It's quite likely we'll find a second sword pretty much anywhere in the siege along the way, and if all else fails, in Ganon's tower. So it's not like something you'd really want to go out of your way for unless you've cleared the entire basement of Ganon's tower, and you'd be like, uh-oh. But you still go up to the top, and then if you don't find a sword, then you'd be slightly entering panic mode.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to see Paradox Cave here from Fear Agent. I think it was just cash in Spiral Cave, so not much going on so far. But yeah, we should see. I would wager. Oh, hello, hey, there's Hookshot in Lower Paradox Cave. So we, assuming Ether is not the medallion for Turtle Rock, we may be in go mode or in no mode already. Fear Agent's missing a couple rods, but otherwise, we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we're kind of in check mode. Hope you find a sword along the way, but really don't go out of your way for a sword. So, Swamp Palace, there's 2 chests you could skip out on the left side. You can speed that up with Diver down, but the other chests in Swamp Palace don't cost too much time to check out, so you can do that for swords. Tower of Hair, you've got the basement chest here, which takes a long time to do. GFE is going for it already, because I'm not sure he knows how to do the Hera pot. Yeah, there's that big key.
I think, and Hera's fire locked anyway, so we might have an item in the big chest too.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do a full clear of Hera then you might be in a little bit of trouble if there was a sword there. But otherwise, most of the dungeons don't really have anything that's like hugely out of the way except Swamp's left side.
To answer your question, chat,
hmm.
the lamp showed up in Skull Woods. So that's how we have logical access to Death Mountain right now.
Yeah, GFE came up here with that little light cone to assist him, and the agent just went up here in the dark because the Death Mountain ascent in the dark isn't very tricky. Well, 10 sticks in the big chest, so basement of Hera, not necessary, Skull Woods, not necessary. So GFE's lost himself a little bit of time here, but he's still looking in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that was the second. That was the second item in Hera as well, as the chest in front had a heart piece. So we are. Yeah, we're pretty much done here. Besides the crystal.
Oh yeah,
Fear
of course.
Agent has
GFE
performed the Hera pot.
Yeah, of course. GFE did not have the hook shot, so he couldn't have done the hair pot in the first place.
It's possible to do it with Pegasus boots, but it's a little bit. It's a little wonky.
I was under the impression that he could bonk himself in place with the Pegasus boots, but he still needs to do the hook shot to get over to the other side of the pot. But I may be incorrect about that.
I think it has to do with spin speed. I think basically you spin speed into the pot, essentially. Yeah. Oh, you still need hook shot even with spin speed. Okay, thanks, mind of me. Never mind.
Yeah, so the agent's done his east side Death Mountain checks already and is doing Tau Hair afterwards, whilst GFE is about to embark on his right side checks. He gets blocked by the Dead Rock, so he's not going to have a look at Turtle Rock just yet.
Yeah, actually, GFE is going to be. We're just about to. We might. GFE might be the first to peek Turtle Rock here. So once he does, we're gonna see if he's in go mode. Because
I think the agent will be into Turtle Rock before him because the agent has done all of the right side checks and Death Mountain already. I don't think he's done the dark side checks, but he's probably going to be heading over there pretty shortly. It looks like he's going to be doing Spike Cave first.
And actually, I just noticed GFE actually does not have Titansmiths yet because he has not cleared Thieves Town for the Cape to go to Bumper Ledge. So actually, GFE's missing a few things because he did King's Tomb. He did King's Tomb via Mirror instead of Mitts. So that explains how he got up there with the Ice Rod.
He did Skull Woods, but he didn't do Thieves Town. And I was saying earlier that I thought Thieves Town over Skull Woods was a much more lucrative play, and it definitely was in this case because Skull Woods, unless say Thieves Town is a crystal and has a necessary item. So unfortunately, Jeffy's decision to skip out on Thieves Town kind of biting him here.
Yeah, I can understand. Actually, yeah, I would have just bundled Thieves Town with Skull Woods, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he just mismarked the dungeons and thought that Skull Woods was a crystal and Thieves Town a pendant. And even though he got a pendant from Skull Woods, he just didn't think about Thieves Town.
Maybe.
So maybe a little bit unfortunate for him, but it's not going to like penalize him massively.
Not really, yeah. Actually, if anything, it looks like Laria's in a much better position right now because Laria has Ice Rod and Mitts. Only hasn't picked up Lamp, but could deal without it. So Laria may end up being our first runner to enter Go mode here, or Sword mode, I guess, for lack of a better term.
So Creations is going to be our first one into Swamp House, and like I mentioned, you can go your way a little bit for swords if you choose to go to the left side, but he may well be choosing to go to the left side anyway because he's looking for that Ice Rod. So this could be a little bit of a time loss for him, or it could be a time gain if there's a sword over there.
To answer a question in chat, Ice Rod was in King's Tomb. We can get into... Oh, chat brings up a good point. We still don't have a way to get into Desert. We need either Flute or Book. Oops.
Oh, yes. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of brushed that one aside. Usually I kind of associate Mitts with Meyer access, which I kind of just associate with Flute. Also, GFE's got to burn that fairy.
Where was... yes, we completely forgot about Flute/Book. Yeah, we're going to be needing those as well. Darn you, Desert Palace. How dare you?
At the very least, once we get either of those two, we can finish off Desert no problem.
This also proves something else to me, that Desert Palace is the most forgettable dungeon for me.
Well, luckily Flute can't be on pedestal because it's needed for Meyer. Book could be, but at that point it's a moot point because Flute can also get us to Desert.
I did
Flute?
see a Paradox pedestal the other day. It was an unnecessary pedestal, but the book was there. It was a
Yeah.
Paradox.
I think actually it was in. I think I remember. Was it an SMZ3 seat or was it a Link to the Past? I do remember
I don't remember.
distinctly
It was
seeing
pretty
a book
recently,
on
though.
Ped.
You might have been
definitely
commentating it,
distinctly-
actually.
I distinctly remember a book on Ped Seed. However,
You might have been commentating that
Semi-recently.
one, actually.
I think I was. I think it was about 2 weeks ago.
Anyway, hopefully that won't come up again. Well, it is amusing to see the Paradox pedestal, because it's called a Paradox because you can't read the pedestal to find out what it is. And then once you pull the pedestal and grab your book, you then can read it afterwards and find out, hey, it's a Paradox. Again, the randomizer will explicitly tell you that. But it is amusing to see, but I definitely don't want to see it in this case.
All right, looks like GFE has also decided to go into Swamp Palace looking for those Titans mitts. Makes sense. Swamp, given that GFE doesn't have mitts, all of Dark Death Mountain still blocked out for him, so Swamp sounds like the more lucrative play given the circumstances.
Yeah, I think he has seen Bumper Ledge, hasn't he? Because he has been to King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge, of course. He got that.
I think so. Because yeah, the ice rod, yeah, he had to.
Yeah, the ice rod
come
was
from
in
that
King's
direction.
Tomb. So he's definitely been in that direction. I think he's seen the Bumper Ledge. He just doesn't have the cape to get in there, and the cape is on blind. I think he's just forgetting about Thieves Town at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be one we're going to have to ask in the interview. But Laria, check the top right of your screen, folks. We're about to see if we can full clear Total Rock nice and early here, and the answer is yes. It is Bamos locked.
Very nice.
Well, Bamos looks like GFE might not actually have that yet, and Bamos was in. I remember I saw it. I just can't remember where.
I just checked GFE's personal tracker, and he does have Thieves Town marked as a crystal. He just hates Thieves Town.
Fair enough. I mean, but yeah, with Bamos found with Bamos the medallion for TR, we can safely call Ped dead. We cannot call Pyramid Fairy dead though. Pyramid Fairy could have book or flute right now. Which I'm gonna laugh if it is. Oh, hey, a perfectly in logic Master Sword.
That's that incidental sword you're hoping for.
Actually, we have hookshot. We can full clear this anyway.
2 swords.
Okay, want to give us butter sword to add? Just put icing
And a
on the
flute.
cake, or go mode. That works too.
Okay, yep. This is a real nice go mode hookshot cave.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's pretty much GG. Although I'm not. Oh, you first.
I was going to say Jet Seed confirmed. Looks like Laura is looking for more stuff. Is she lacking something? I don't think she's lacking anything.
She might be looking for
She
lamp
isn't
real
good mode.
quick. She might just be looking for lamp real quick just to make Turtle Rock a tad bit more pleasant.
Yeah, that would be bad because, of course, Lamp is over in Skullwood and it's going to be a super long time before she gets over there. But yeah, she's in go mode.
Yeah,
I got my Jet Seed. I am happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, that was actually one of the most hypest hookshot caves I've seen in a long time. But yeah, 52.5-minute go mode, I'll take it any day. Well, I'll take it any day when there's not, if there's not like some other comedy going on, like book on Pyramid Fairy or something like that.
Yeah, it would be pretty brutal for other runners if they never got that food from Hookshot Cave and went to do Pyramid Fair instead to get a book to get themselves into Desert Palace that way. But I don't think that's a scenario that's probably ever going to come up unless runners put off Dark Death Mountain for absolutely forever. Which might happen for GFE because he lacks those mitts when he did his Death Mountain checks. Yeah, I don't think Scuffle Ninja Tuna has been up Death Mountain at all. So, well, he has been into Tower of Hera, but Yeah, it could penalize him as well, actually.
Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna still hasn't been to Thieves Town either, so it still doesn't have
Hmm.
Cape. Fear Agent, I think, has gotten Cape, but has never been to Bumper Ledge. So this is a bit of a peculiar one here. Interesting.
Yeah, Fear Agent is really good at execution and such. So I would say as long as he gets over to Bumper Ledge fairly quickly, he's definitely got the edge here. It just depends on how long he puts it off. And considering he's now doing a few dark roll checks, like he's going to be doing his mirror checks now, that will send him in the direction of the Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb and also Bumper Cave. So I don't think he's going to be put off for too long by that Titansmiths.
Probably not. Although I noticed, actually, we've got was it a key in the first chest of TR? Because
I didn't look.
Because I noticed that the Crystal Roller room had big key plus small key, so it was actually a fairly favorable, Turtle Rock key layout right now.
Oh yeah, if you're trying to go for the Galaxy Brain play here and go for Turtle Rock without rods, you'll be able to get a decent way through. But in this case, Galaxy Brain play would be basically, if you have a brain the size of a galaxy, it's going to make the brain signals take a hell of a long time to travel, and you wouldn't be thinking fast at all. So definitely the wrong play here. The Main Speed Gaming channel is still joining us with a rate of 93 people. Hello. We have got here for you the Link to the Past daily race, Casual Boots, and we've already got at least one runner in Go mode. So this is Fast Friday, and it's living up to its name so far.
Yeah, definitely one of the faster ones we've seen. Granted, it is a Casual Boots seed too, so it's nice and quick from the start here. But what really set Larry into Go mode was a visit to Hookshot Cave, which not only had the Go mode flute, but a pair of swords to go with it.
Okay, so Fear Agent is doing the bad thing here, which is heading to Skullwoods to find items, and the last item is on Morphula, but it's just a hard container. So he's going to be losing time here, but he will be really close to Bumper Ledge afterwards. At the very least, he isn't doing stuff like Smith Chain first before Skullwoods.
Yeah, well, Fear Agent can't do Smith Chain anyway because he's missing out on.
Oh yeah, of course he can. Yeah, he wouldn't be it. Of course.
Clara's got to watch her health here because she's about to get firebarred. I mean, granted, I think, yeah, she's got her fairy still, so. Although, do fairy revivals... oh, never mind. Hookshot does that, so... Ooh!
Yeah, Hookshot gives you a few iframes.
Second time. Yeah, I think
you're still going to stay on the
time.
platform if you take a death here. I have seen people take a death here in the room before.
Okay, yeah, the platform. Yeah, I was worried that fairy revivals might lead to some wonky platform problems, and you might have to do that again.
Yeah, it looks like she is through now, and she's in a fairly good spot for Trinex here. She has got the cape to go check out Laser Bridge here to get her last remaining small key. She's actually opening up the door to give herself a safety, which is a reasonable play to make if you're not feeling too confident. It's better to open up the safety, and if you take a death, know that you've got that, instead of taking death and realize you have to go through the entire dungeon again.
Yeah, better to have and not need than need and not have, as the saying goes. And she's only looking for the key.
Yeah, the cape and half magic makes this particularly easy. There's that key.
Yeah, at least it's not in the last chest.
She's checking out the other chests anyway. I guess looking for more safety, so far she's really in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, probably
Red
just
mail,
maybe an extra...
sword.
Maybe just a quick health refill via Sankheart. Maybe a bottle that's filled with something would be nice if it's in the way. Because a bottle... I know you mentioned earlier that, yeah, at this point going out of the way for a bottle would certainly not be the best idea, but if a bottle just so happens to fall on your lap and it's got blue goo, so much the better.
Yeah, a bottle of silver out. So if it's on your way, you can check it. But if it's like Laser Bridge, I would just get my small key and then get out of there.
You know what? That's probably what it is, too. She's probably looking for silvers, because Tempered Sword Silverless Ganon, even with Red Mail Half Magic, does still take a bit. Not the worst compared to Master Sword Silverless, but even still.
Yes, he's quite comfortable with Trinex here, though. Remembers to switch to the fire rod before finishing off the firehead, because when the firehead is blowing up, you can't actually access your menu to change to the ice rod. Well, I'm sorry. So he had the ice rod and then he switched to the fire rod. I got the rods the wrong way around.
That's okay. I get that screwed up all the time.
Yeah, she takes that Trinex without too much trouble. I think she's a little iffy for dark rooms, but her execution of fires really isn't too bad. That's a pretty clean Trinex.
Yeah, her routing's also played out pretty well, being able to come up and check Turtle Rock with Titan's mitts and both rods in tow already. Everyone else has kind of come up a little earlier, but it was missing a critical component. Like in this case, Fear Age and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna both went up without ice rods, and Titan's mitts for that matter. Really, it just came down to you had to just do Thieves Town first, and then you can pretty much go up there and do everything you need.
Oh, that was another thing that was keeping GFE out of Turtle Rock. No Cane of Samaya. Of course, that was right outside Thieves Town.
Yeah, delaying Thieves Town really has just caused a headache one way or another. He's probably going to be kicking himself a little bit when he sees this cape.
The agent is done with this unfortunate skullwards and now sees that his mitts were on bumper ledge all along. And he's probably thinking, I should have gone here before doing skullwards. Oh well.
And Larian, meanwhile, is activating her flute to get set off onto Desert. I would wager Desert's the next stop, probably.
Yeah, Desert into Swamp and then get up the to Gans Tower. So, Fey Agent does have +1. Well, no, he's got a Swamp Palace over her, so he's kind of in the same level of progress as Laria is. So,
I don't know what's going on with Fear Agent. I don't know if he's. I guess a Link Between Worlds debuted a few years early. I think he might have been clipped into the wall because it looks like he's stuck. I don't know how he managed to pull that off, but
oh no!
Yeah, he's got to redo a quick.
I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, that's weird.
I wasn't expecting anything like that to happen. I'm gonna have to rewatch this later to see what happened because that was weird.
Yeah, I've definitely never seen that before.
So that's super unfortunate for him because now he's got to take that saving crit and go back into the Dark World and get all the way back up there again. That's probably a minute and a half loss.
Yeah, that's gonna, and this is after already realizing that he was a bit behind the bandwagon on picking that up. All right, and
I was going to say it looks pretty tricky between Fear Agent and Laria, who has the advantage here. I definitely say Laria is going to have the lead here now because of that hiccup, but Fear Agent does have a big edge in execution, so I'm not going to count him out of the race just yet.
Fair enough. Looks like Desert Palace was not boots locked today. Not that it really matters, since everybody got that right off the top of the race here, but should be a fairly quick desert nonetheless. And Hilaire is not even bothering to check looking for the other two items.
Yes, he's not going too out of the way for like safeties or silver arrows, which is good. If you're in a really good spot like this, you definitely don't want to be making too many safety checks because you don't want to miss out on that potential first place.
Yeah, especially since, again, Lyra's routing has just really played out in her favor so far today. And yeah, the chain for Ice Rod is, I wouldn't say it was trolly, just a little wonky at most, because it's just literally Thieves Town to Bumper Ledge to King's Tomb. They're all literally right beside each other.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get audio for Laria. I know she mentioned she wants to use the MSU, but if she was on the restreams, he would not use it. So I generally don't like people using different soundtracks for their games. So it is an option if you play Link to the Past Randomizer and you get support with the vanilla game audio, because when you've heard it 100 times, it gets old.
Yeah, I know that there's a nice custom soundtrack suite available for Majora's Mask Randomizer. You ever play that one?
I have never seen Majora's Mask Randomizer, actually. I've seen a bunch of Ocarina of Time Randomizer, but not Majora's Mask. I I wasn't even aware it existed until you just told me.
Actually, it's pretty good. They actually just not recently. I think it was more like almost a year ago. But they've made it so that all items that are like in plain sight in the overworld have their proper models instead of the like vanilla models, like heart pieces, for example. Like stray fairies can now stray fairies could be randomized, and they could be things like you can now see what they are instead of them being stray fairies, and then the text box telling you what you got. Yeah, Majora's Mask Randomizer is pretty cool. But yeah, that's Fair Agent's Ice Rod, and Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna is going to grab the maiden.
Yep. So Leia now has a Swamp Pass to do, which is a slow dungeon. She can skip the left side because she's not looking for Ice Rod like Fear Agent was. Fear Agent is... did he do Desert Palace? I'm sure he did Desert Palace. He's heading up to Turtle Rock now, which is also a slow dungeon, but that will put him in a good spot to get into Gan's Tower right afterwards.
Fear Agent has not done Desert Palace. He doesn't have Flute. He couldn't have gone Flute until...
Oh, yeah, that was in Hookshot. Yeah,
he couldn't have gone Flute
Hookshot Cave.
now.
That's in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, he couldn't have gone until now because no time limits.
Yeah, so Fear Agent's definitely still on the back foot here compared to Laria.
Yeah, and Go Mode Swamp is not going to take any time. Is going to take so little time. I think Lara was trying to get a hammer dash set up, but game was being a little rude there.
Yeah, it gets a fourth try. I think I spent like 20 tries trying to get the hammer dash and then gave up and just lifted up the pots myself the last time I played. I'm not a good player. That's why I don't stream.
All right, GFE is now packing Titan's Mitts and has mirrored up to Death Mountain, and looks like he does have Bombos. So it looks like he's headed to Turtle Rock. At least I thought I saw Bombos on his pause menu.
GFE's been in a pretty good spot for most of his race. Just the decision to skip out on Feast Town kind of cost him a bit. So now he's just trailing behind Fear Agent a little bit.
Yeah, and now that he's just got Titan's Mitts again, he still has to clear Desert, which is granted not going to be too fast, not going to be too slow rather, but yeah, Fear Agent's about to get his Go Mode care package here in Hookshot Cave.
And Scruff Ninja Tuna is now doing the Skull Woods check. He's had much the same routing as Fear Agent here. Unfortunately, he was interrupted by something and had to pause for a long time. So that's why he's looking a fair bit behind Fear Agent right now. But they've had very similar routing throughout all of his race.
Actually, I'm trying to think. I think Swamp Palace may have had a ton of heart containers because I'm just noticing Fear Agent and GFE's health, and they're both packing over 15 hearts right now.
Leia pulls off a nice diver down and skips chests. Okay.
Guess just wanted the extra health refill for safety. Now, Lara is actually the only one who's going to be doing this fight on Tempered Sword now that I think about it, because everybody else did it on Fighter and had to do spins. Lara is going to have a field day here with Argus.
Yeah, with Fighter Sword or Master Sword, you have to do spins if you want to one-shot the little Argai, and that's just annoying because you want to like hookshot multiple things off him and then charge up the spin and kill him, or charge up the spin and use a hookshot at the same time and then unleash the spin. It gets a little trickier, but with the Temper Sword, you can just one-shot the Argai with a regular swipe. So it's very, very possible, difficult but possible to one-cycle Argus with that. Whereas with the sorry?
It's actually especially easier with Butter Sword because you can literally just poke them out.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, Butter Sword Argus is a sight to behold. Fairly rare, but a sight to behold.
Yeah, it's something I haven't seen many times myself, and when I have seen Butter Sword Argus, people have just been swiping at him anyway, so... Anyway, Laria gets her last crystal, and she's going to be heading up to GT. So, if you're the kind of person who likes to enter an arbitrary number in chat for something that may potentially be in Ganon's Tower, please do start entering them. We like to take a guess where the big key is in Ganon's Tower. So, if you want to enter a number between 1 and 22 in chat, now is the time. Laria is actually going to give you a little bit of extra time by stocking up on a blue potion here, which is a which is a good choice. If you're feeling it's just a really nice safety to have a blue potion for the tower or Ganon himself.
Yeah, especially since Laria burned her fairy in Turtle Rock as well, so she'd be going into Ganon's tower pretty much defenseless.
Yeah, and she does not have quite as many hard containers as GFP and free agents, because she is skipping chests in Swamp Palace. The correct play, but doesn't mean she misses out on all that bonus health.
Yeah, although 3 hearts when red mail is in the equation isn't going to be the biggest deal, because 13 hearts red mail is still fantastic for Tempered Sword Silverless Ganon, which, granted, plenty of chances for silvers to still show up, but even still, Tempered Sword Silverless is not the worst thing out there, especially with half magic and a blue goo.
Yeah, that blue goo is just like until you run into no potential accidents here, but you are in a really good spot for Gan's Tower with red mail, half magic, and tempered sword. It's not going to be a difficult Gan's Tower climb. But if you've got the flute, it's totally going out of your way to get a blue person. It's just like 10 to 20 second investment, but it does mean that if you run into an accident, you don't lose like potential minutes because you have to go back to the beginning of the tower and climb all the way back up.
Yeah, not to mention with flute, it takes like no time at all to get down there. To answer your question, chat, the lamp was in Skull Woods. In the front.
Yeah, in the big chest. So 2 of our, I think, 3 of our runners all went into Skull Woods looking for Titansmiths when it was just over on Bumperlet. So Laria actually avoided it. So, all 3 of our Pendant dungeons, you did not have to go into them at all. I like that.
Yeah, if we're following logic here, you technically had to dip Skull Woods for lamp, but that was about it. That's really just kind of a tiny footnote by comparison to the stuff our runners have been able to pull off today. And it looks like Laria's first stop is the Hope Room.
She gets a small key, so she can continue right if she chooses to. Nope, she's putting out that mirror, and she's going to go left now. Maybe going to go into Stealth's room and then do Dark Magician. We'll see.
Alright, the torch having just a red rupee. Bob gets to live today. Actually, in the SMZ3 race we had on Monday, Bob was actually being a little argumentative with one runner. It's like he missed the powder, and then Bob took away the rest of the magic. It was like, powder me, will you?
Yeah, unfortunate thing about Bob in ZM3 is that he's not actually Bob. He's just a regular anti-fairy due to the way the coding works there.
Fair enough.
Whereas in Link to Past Randomizer, the coding works in a slightly different way. And there's that big key in the Stealth's room. Number 7. Yeah, number 7.
That would be number 7. Yeah. So II Reverse X is our first guesser with 7. So congratulations. You are the winner of the GT Big Key guessing game. You get a lifetime supply of Link to the Past Randomizer seeds. Disclaimer, literally everybody can get these.
So Laria starting the climb here with not a lot of hard containers and no silver arrows, so she has to take out the Gorias with 2 arrows apiece. One of them drops a fairy. Very nice drop. She definitely needed that.
Yeah, especially considering she was only around 3 hearts. I think she actually took another BMOS hit as she picked up the fairy, because fairies regenerate 7 hearts, correct?
I think it's 7 hearts, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a pretty lucky health refill. Yeah, you do not want to burn your blue goo before you have to climb GT. Because I think the next nearest chance for a guaranteed fairy besides this refill room here is... Actually, I'm not even sure fairies are in this refill room. I don't see it too often.
They are in that refill.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they're in that refill room.
Yeah, but the next possible chance for a fairy would be the bushes outside, right outside the base of GT, in which point you'd have to go all the way around again.
And you're not going to be able to powder any of the bunny beams up in the top floor, so no chance for refills there.
Yeah, we've actually been fairly short on fetch quest items. No mushroom or powder today.
I mean, we got that shovel.
The only one.
We got that shovel early on, but that shovel was necessary. So you dug up a glove. So.
Well, dug up water toes actually.
Oh, water toes. Yeah, water toes. Stuff that goes in your feet rather than your hands.
Yeah, the glove was where was the glove? It was somewhere stupidly easy. Ooh, actually, Lara's got to be real careful right now.
Yeah, it takes a hit from the Lammerless and the Medusa here. The Medusa gets really annoying. If you have the fire shield has very limited utility. It makes blind a little bit easier because you can just have all his fireball spam go plink 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 off your shield, and that particular Medusa you can also block the fireballs, especially if you're like holding out your sword and it's going into the side for your sprite. So she gets through. She still has that blue goo, and I don't think she's in danger for death just yet because she's got that red mail to protect her, so she's not going to take like a huge damage hit. She can dip down to like 2 or 1 hearts before using that.
Yeah, although it looks like unfortunately Wizrobes are in the rupee pool today and not the health pool.
I'm having a little trouble with the Wizrobe room there. I took a hug from one trying to kill them all. If you want to kill a Ford of, you typically see people going for that Wizrobe room, dropping a Cane of Samaya block on the conveyors, one-shotting 3 of them, and then just killing the last one that wants to make the way to the top. But it's trickier in practice, and most runners make it look.
Yeah, I think Lara had to burn her blue potion there due to just low magic, so bit unfortunate she's going to not have any further safeties going into the Aghanim 2 and Ganon fights, but Aga 2 I wouldn't be too worried about. Ganon might still be a bit of a pain in the backside, given we're still looking for silvers. Still 4 chests up here which could have them, but it looks like Laria's not interested.
Yes, he's been skipping chests like the Diver Down portion of Swamp, and that not really interested in silvers at all. Interesting choice. I'd still be checking out those chests, because if you just grab silvers, you save yourself a lot of time. But she's ignoring everything.
Yeah, I would wager the only chest she'll pick up is Moldorm 2 at this point, which will be hilarious, by the way, if there are silvers in there.
I think she'll skip them. She skips everything else. Nope, I'm wrong, and it's just bombs. So we're both wrong.
Not just any bombs, it's the Uncle bombs. So at least it's a... Can you call that a unique item? There is technically only one of those in the pool.
I guess. But I think we're done with unique item trolls on Moldorm 2 chest. GFE taking a bit of an unusual route here in the fireball room in the Turtle Rock.
Maybe
he's sort of going around the houses a bit, but he gets there. The torch, the lamp helping him out a bit. And we've got Aga 2 for Alaria. So she's looking good on health. She's got a full magic bar. So even though you're going to have to use a fire rod, well, she will have to use a fire rod to light the torches. Having a half magic there just helps you a lot. So I don't think she's going to have to go back to magic shop to get a potion. If she's not feeling particularly confident, she may go back there anyway. You've got the mirror and the flute, so it doesn't take too much time. So it's not like awful for her, but it would be unfortunate if she felt the need to.
That was actually a nice last save there with that last double, because that second shot almost missed. But yeah, Fear Agent just finished Desert, so he's on his way to GT. GFE will be next on the docket to head over there after finishing up Total Rock. And Ganon's worried that there's a big sense of deja vu going on, which, to be fair, there kind of is given the timeline.
Oh, definitely. And if we're talking like randomizer seeds and daily races, well, discounting forfeits, I think we kill him probably 20 times a week. 5 daily races, 4 runners each. That's a lot of Ganon deaths. Endless supplies of bacon for all of your sandwich needs. Anyway, Laria did not choose to go for a potion refill, and she's already on half of her magic bar because she used a cape to get through the phase 2 of Ganon, so this doesn't give her too much magic for the spin strat. We'll see if it's enough to get her through.
Yeah, we're also going to find out where the silvers were hiding, and they are in GT somewhere.
Okay, so perhaps Laria's decision to skip chests in GT might have burnt her. Imagine if it was at the top there and she just missed out on them. That would be super unfortunate.
I don't think she has to worry quite yet. She only has to do 10 more spins, and she has still at least six fire rod shots left. So as long as she can maintain, it looks like she's actually struggling to get a spin, and there it goes. But yeah, as long as she can average 2 spins per cycle, this should be okay.
2 spins per cycle is pretty manageable. Oh no!
Never
Okay, well
mind.
now she's in trouble. She takes a fall. Bounces off the pig into the pit.
Yeah, she's got the time
And
needed.
now she's pulling out that mirror. She wants to get a blue potion. So I imagine she'll buy one, refill, then buy another one.
She has time, especially since Fear Agent's going right. GFE is. Right, yeah, GFE. We already said GFE was on the way to GT after try next. But yeah, it looks like Fear Agent's going to take a minute because Fear Agent's going full right here, which is at least going to give us a little more intel about if we might have silvers back here instead.
Yeah, so if silvers are here, then Fear Agent gains time. If they're not, and they are not, he loses time. So GFE pulls it ahead of Fear Agent here.
Yeah, just out of simple GT routing. But yeah, it looks like the silvers are either in Tile Room behind Ice Armos or Rando Room or in something which I've never seen anyone check ever, the GT Big Chest.
Well, they could be in the top for Tower 2. We did not see those free chests.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Laria now going to have a second poke at the pig. Equipped with a potion now, so she's going to be in the... Unless she takes another fall, she's going to be pretty set here. She can be really liberal with her magic now.
Round 2. Fight!
It's definitely Deja Vu, because we're seeing him for the second time now.
It took a bit of a slap from the Trident, a couple slaps from the Trident, but 9 hearts is still good. It's enough to tank 2 Ganon hugs. All right, that's the 12th. That's the 12th phase 2 slash. Still burnt a lot of magic, but this time still has the blue goo on reserve.
It's worth mentioning that the amount of teleports that Ganon does is now going to be different for her. So the amount of teleports he does is going to be fixed for every runner unless they take a death or fall, and after that, it's randomized. Well, to clarify a bit, it's always randomized, but like the first pattern that Ganon will give you will be the same for every runner in a seed. But the amount of teleports he could do will vary by seed.
Yeah.
That also applies to Aga 1 too. He could be firing a lot of blue balls at you, unless you take a death.
Yeah, again.
And that would mix it up.
I've seen some very uncooperative Ganon teleports in the past. Although this one, today they don't look like they've been too bad. But yeah, she's Lara's still got 4 shots with her fire rod left, so she's looking all right for the moment.
And she's going to be playing a little bit safer now because she knows she has that backup potion. Unfortunately, he got a regular hit on Ganon rather than a last. You've got to hit Ganon on the last frame before he teleports. If you hit him uprise, he's going to go into that stun phase where he expects you to hit him with a silver arrow, which are not available to Laria.
Yeah, I know it's possible.
Let's see if GFE manages to grab them shortly.
Is it possible that a slash on that frame could still deal damage too? Like, I know it's much thinner window by comparison to spins, but is it possible that a regular slash could do
I believe it is, yes. Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah, I think with
but it's a much tighter window, so nobody really does it.
Yeah, I think
it's extremely, extremely difficult.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Chat's saying it's a 2-frame window for slashes, and I think for spins it's like 6. But folks, barring a disaster on this 1x3 bridge here, get your GGs in for Laria in chat, who is going to be the first amongst our restring to finish.
Yes, he's staying well south of that to avoid any taking an accidental fall, and she is her first restream runner to finish, and 6th place finisher overall with an official time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, 22 seconds. GG.
Yeah, looks like our first place winner this afternoon was Humbug, who finished with a time of 1:14:15. And this was definitely, yeah. Lara, could you please pick up the Triforce before they get dizzy? But yeah, looks like
They're staying
GFE
dizzy.
hasn't found silvers either. It looks like, and
Okay.
Fear Agent's skipping out on the top three.
So gains a little time on GFE here, but GFE's definitely got the advantage going into AGA 2. We'll see if Execution plays a difference there. Or if GFE takes a fall like Laria did, then that could be bad for him, but he's definitely got the advantage coming in.
Yeah, this is and look, you can see the health difference by comparison. Our other runners all packing at least 15 hearts going into this, finishing up their tower climbs. And I think did Turtle Rock have did Trinex have a heart container? I don't think so.
I don't remember what he dropped. And it looks like we are joined by Laria now. GG's. Congratulations on finishing first on the restream.
That's so awesome. This is my first Speed Gaming Daily, so I feel really, really like jittery and awesome right now.
Yeah, you put on a really good show here. Showing pretty good execution all throughout. Ganon 4 was unfortunate, but you just had such good rooting throughout the early part of this race, and it just gave you such a huge advantage here. That really gave you put on a good show. So GG.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I made the mistake of drinking coffee this morning, and so just this entire race I've been feeling all kinds of caffeine jitters and whatnot. And so I felt like my execution was not as good as it could be, like some of the little things like trying to do pod clip and pod and that hammer yump that totally just failed. But I feel really, really good. This is awesome. I like getting sub 130s.
Yeah, what really helped you out was your decision to go visit Thieves Town earlier. And actually, funny thing is, the lamp was right next to you when you were doing that. It was in Skull Woods. Pretty much the only. Yeah, it was the only pendant dive required for the day. Actually, nothing in mire or ice. No one's even been in there.
I'm really glad I've been practicing dark rooms, though.
It did work out in your favor big time today. How did you feel about?
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, don't worry. It's it happens all the time. But how did you feel about the first major item of the day being shovel leading to flippers?
You know, it's one of those things where I like getting those fetch quests early, because majority of the time if you get a fetch quest early, it does lead to some kind of progression. And having boots, just that being casual boots, makes that early routing super, super easy if you do get shovel. So I wasn't too upset by that at all.
Yeah, you first, I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying it felt good. It's just nice to get that.
Yeah, and we gotta hand it to you. I have tremendous respect for anybody who can do silverless Ganon, so props to it's gonna be pretty much everybody, because we can't find silver. We didn't find silvers anywhere in the GT checks we've seen. But folks, get your, assuming again, no 1x3 bridge disaster. Yep, get your GGs in for GFE, who now finishes in second on Restream, 7th overall, geez, numbers, with an official SRL time of 1:27:27.
Heading into the Ganon fight a little faster than Fear Agent, and finishing off it a little faster than Fear Agent. So, interesting choice by Fear Agent. Fear Agent has taken a forfeit, but he's just finished off Ganon. Okay, I'm hoping that... No, he crosses a bridge. Why did he forfeit?
That's weird. Yeah, I was just about to comment on that, but I didn't realize it was... Oh well. We are joined in the booth here by GFE. GFE, GG to you.
Hey, thanks for the GGs. At least I farmed beer, that's all that matters.
So, we gotta ask, at Feastown, you put it off forever, and that was kind of like the logical sequence. You had to get your cape there so they could then get up to Bumper Ledge to get your mitts, and you could just kind of wait out of the way a bit, avoiding Feastown. What was your decision regarding that?
First of all, I mean, if you go to Thieves Town, the seed's basically free because you're gonna go find your mitts. You're probably not going to leave Ice Rod, though I have a theory that that's probably what Fear Agent did. And then you're just gonna go up the mountain and hit go mode.
Well, it's actually the other way around. Fear Agent actually got, I think Fear Agent got Ice Rod via Mirror. Because
that's what I did. What ended up hurting him then?
Pretty much the same thing. Actually, he was late getting to Titan's Mitts. He did clear Thieves Town, but he was late getting to Bumper Ledge.
Never checked.
In his case.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you've got basically two starts when you have Dark World access with Hammer and Glove. You can either go to CAC and route south, or start Hype and go to Pod, which, I mean, the mirror on Pyramid was a nice bonus. But at the same time, it kind of... That and... Was Fire Rod in Hype Cave, I believe?
It was, yes.
Yep, so that's what the mirror and Fire Rod is what led me to go ahead and clear Skull Woods, even though it was Pendant. And then I wanted to go ahead and do Graveyard Ledge. And since I didn't have money for Zora, I was going to go ahead and do Catfish Zora. And after that, let's see.
What were your thoughts on...
yeah, Lamp and Skull Woods led me logically to the mountain. And then Hookshot on the mountain made me make the swamp play. So just basically getting jebaited everywhere except for Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, how did you feel about shovel leading to early shovel leading to flippers?
You get early shovel. It's progression, probably, I don't know, 30% of the time, so not too shocking. Flippers, did that even lead to anything?
Well, you needed them for swamp.
Oh, Moon Pearl.
That's about it. Yeah, Moon Pearl.
Moon Pearl was on Hobo. I don't know. Early part of the seed felt okay, and after I got mitts, I'm glad I made the correct play immediately. I mean, it was the probably most logical play to head straight up the mountain. Especially since I already had Ice Rod, but I figure most people after mitts are going to go over and check King's Tomb anyway.
Yeah, the early boots definitely paid their worth in gold today, because they were needed for a couple of things. It wasn't a boots lock desert, but hard container on the pedestal. You and Fear Agent ended up having a lot of HP going into GT. You both were at like 16 hearts. Was it Swamp had all the hard containers?
I don't remember. I feel like I had a lot of help. Let's see. When I went into Spike Cave, I was on 12. And so maybe there was a lot in Swamp. I really don't remember. I just knew that there was a bunch of garbage in Swamp. Yeah, I got a heart container off Mothula. I remember that.
Okay, yeah. It was probably that, and because Laria both go-moded Swamp and didn't dip Skull Woods, so that makes a lot of sense in hindsight.
Yeah, I mean, you could go mode Swamp, you could go mode Pod. Pod was just very disappointing this seed. Let's see. I gotta ask, since I still see Scruffs running, I don't have the stream up or anything, but did he make the Ice Palace gamble by any chance?
No, nobody dipped Ice, nobody dipped Mire. Well, Mire was pretty much undippable anyways, considering Flute was go mode, but...
Right. Speaking of which, that Hookshot Cave was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was.
Here's Tempered Two Swords and your go mode, so...
Yeah, it's not too often we get a Hookshot Cave that valuable. Humbug in the chat asked a couple of minutes ago if he's still here. You can go right ahead and enlighten us where the silvers were, because we don't know where they are. They weren't on the right side of GT either.
Yes, Humbug, tell me where silvers are. You said I would get them. You lied.
Yeah, we've been looking for them all day. And we know they're in GT somewhere. Please don't say tile room. Please don't say tile room. Please don't say tile room.
I'm betting if
They're in the top of GT.
They're in the top. Are you serious? I wonder which chest, because I was only going to check validation. So.
The
Helma, that sucks.
Yeah, it's like the most convenient of the last 4 chests besides Moldorm 2.
The top left in Mini Helma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oof.
I thought about opening that one, but that's a little frustrating, but no big deal.
Oh,
We
maybe
made it through the Ganon path.
Oh, I just realized I didn't notice because of the beeping. No beeping, but Mr. Scruffington is actually on 1 heart. Ew. Scary.
Yeah, he'd probably be opening his chest just to try and save himself. Oh, this is... Well, he gets a piece of heart, but it doesn't give him a heart container. And there's the silver hours. in that
Yep,
left.
they were right there. Oof.
It's kind of
Guys,
funny
I
because most of the late game of this, we were talking about how you, Leia, were skipping all of the easy chests to check, like say the waterfall chest in Swamp Palace or the diver down chests, and you were just walking by them and skipping them all. And the silvers were in a really convenient location, which would just taken a couple of seconds to grab. But nobody went for them except for Tuna.
Yeah, I felt, other than the fact that I had a Ganonfall, I felt pretty okay with Tempered Silverless, so I didn't really care if I found the silvers. But literally after I left the drowned chests, I was like, oh, I should have checked those just in case I got silvers, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like if there's a convenience check that I could make that I end up skipping just out of just not paying attention. It's like, oh well, I guess I guess I'm not getting Annihilator Beam today.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I didn't check top, normally if I was on Tempered Silverless, I'd probably still check top of GT, but there was just so much still available, all of Ice, all of Mire area, a few checks in Turtle Rock and some other stuff that it wasn't. I figured it was probably elsewhere.
Yeah,
But not today.
Actually, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna just semi-recently found our Ether Medallion too. It was behind the Ice Armos. But no sign of Book, Cane of Burna, or the other 2 fetch quest items.
He went full right?
He went full right. He went full right, yeah. And went all the way to Ice Armos.
Has just pulled off a 1 heart agate too. That was dangerous.
And he still has.
He's diving in with 1 heart.
I don't know if he got a second bottle somewhere along the way.
I think if he had another potion to use, he'd have used it by now.
He did use the fairy. So yeah, chat's saying he's only got 1 bottle, so he has no safety. But at the for this, if nothing else, he is now doing Tempered Sword Silvers, which is going to make this fight a cakewalk. And still has Cape.
He's got Cape if he wants to use it, yeah.
And he's going to do the wall pull strategy here, where Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, you might want to bust out of that cape before too long goes by. There you go. Because yeah, by pulling on the wall doesn't drain magic. Neither does slash mashing your sword.
Yeah, handy strats for checking out Tile Room or taking on Vitreous. But he'll still be fine even if he uses extra cape magic, because he only has to hit Ganon regularly rather than use 12 spins on him.
Ooh, he even got an early shot off there, getting a first, effectively a pre-teleport shot. This should be a double. Yep. And that's the 4th arrow.
Yeah, chat pointing out a brave little Goomba who made it through the entire last 5 minutes of this seed with 1 heart.
It's the one
no
Goomba
hits at all.
It's the one Goomba that's left defending Bowser's Castle. But hey, folks, get your GGs in for Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, who finishes in 3rd place on Restream, 11th overall with an official race time. It is not SRL. Has finished with a time of 1:38.08.
leaving the race comment, if we subtract the 10 minutes I rested in the bathroom, that was a sub 90 kappa.
Oh my. At least we know what the problem was there. We are now joined in the booth by Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. GG to you.
GG. Just had to remember to unmute my mic.
GG, Scruff.
So you had really, really similar routing to GFE and Fear Agent. You were basically, all three of you were copying each other throughout almost all of the seed. Well, GFE went off a little bit different compared to Fear Agent, but you were basically putting the same steps as Fear Agent throughout all of this. I think you would have finished it at the same time as him if it wasn't for the 10 minutes you spent, the 10 minutes of downtime you just commented about.
Yeah, I figure. That's why I'm like, I would have gotten a sub 90. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Fear Agent's finished with a 1:28.17, at least according to his own personal race time. I don't know what his actual official time was because he took a forfeit for some reason after crossing the bridge. I guess he wasn't feeling like really happy about his finish and getting.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he didn't want to give away free points to GFE, so he was like, "Nope, I'm done."
That's basically it. Yeah. Once I finished, it was too much for him. Couldn't handle it.
I do like the placement of most of these items. I understand how Humbug and Shireen ended up getting such great times, because I know that they both like going to Village of Outcasts as soon as they have a chance. So getting that cape and then Mitts immediately would have led them over to Ice Rod. They would have gotten their cane, would have gotten their Fire Rod, they would have gone up the mountain. Hell, they probably ended up getting go mode at like 40 minutes in.
Yeah, and besides you, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, nobody else picked up silvers.
I was laughing about
on
that.
Restream. On Restream.
Yeah,
That was a pretty funny silver spot.
Right? I was just memeing at that last place in the race. I was like, yeah, screw it, let's pick up every box here. That's why I went in One Heart Ganon.
Yeah, props to you for managing to pull that off, though.
I was thoroughly expecting to die.
Yeah, it was like, wait a minute, I'm not hearing. It was like I noticed it right as you were about to get to the upstairs torch face room. It was like, wait a minute, he's on 1 heart, but I'm not hearing beeping. But wait a minute, he's at 1 heart.
Oh yeah, I always turn off the beeping for a combination of reasons, but
fair enough.
That's one of them.
We have a question in chat. Where are the 3rd and 4th swords? Well, we know that there were 2 swords in Hookshot Cave, but we haven't actually seen a 4th sword.
If I'm guessing that someone with the Titansmiths on the restream checked some of the better Titansmiths locked locations, it was probably an Ice Palace.
It's got to be
Misery
an
Mire.
It's got to be an Icer Mire at this point, or on Pyramid Ferry. We were actually debating because up until the time, once we got Turtle Rock access, we realized, wait a minute, Hookshot's not needed for TR. Hookshot could totally be on Pyramid Ferry right now, but it wasn't.
Yeah, thank you, Paradox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was like the best routing choice for anyone early, is to go into Village of Outcasts immediately after finishing the Eastern Pod Dip, because that way they would have gotten their Titan Mitts before going to the mountain. They get their hook shot, they get the flute, they get the tempered sword, practically go mode right then and there. I think the only thing they would have been messing was Bombos on Stumpy, but that's a quick check.
That's where that was.
Well, and technically Fire Rod and Hype Cave.
I completely forgot that's where Bombos was.
Oh, did anyone else get the lamp?
Yep.
Everybody except Laria.
Oh, that
And
was
that's
a
why
funny
she beat you all.
location. Yep.
Lamp is the whole reason I ended up full clearing swamp, because it led me logically up the mountain before I went to Village of Outcasts.
Same here. Well, technically, it was because I like the lamp, but I also like doing Swamp Full, and Diver Down is fun.
Diver Down is pretty cool to watch. I will admit to that one. Although early K-Man Icebreaker was a nice, would have been a nice easy pick if that was ever an issue. But nobody dipped Ice, nobody dipped Mire, which was a good thing. They were both barren except for probably Buttersword, but who needs that?
Right? Nah,
Where was Kane again? I forgot that.
A brewery.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I got that after Swamp.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta just say real quick that I am super glad I started following one of my buddies' routes of leaving CAC for last, because getting that early moon pearl off the hobo was hilarious.
Yeah, that and CAC was pretty barren today. Like, did it have? I'm trying to remember if it
I
had
think
anything
bow.
besides the bow. Yeah, that's about it.
Bow and disappointment.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because how about that front of Escape? Besides the what was it, the shovel and Dark Cross? That's the only like unique item that was in there. Which
Yup.
granted it led to flippers, but even still, it was a pretty slow start. Then the seed just practically exploded once you got to Sahasrara.
Oh, I do have to rag on my fellow restreamers though. What was your escape time?
Don't even remember. My escape
I
was
think it
kind
was
of a mess,
garbage.
to be honest.
Was
Yeah,
it
same.
was it more than 5 minutes and 30 seconds?
Probably.
I don't know. It was close.
All right,
If
I'm
I
gonna have to
remember
watch that VOD.
correctly, it was Fear that was first out of Escape, but then followed like a couple seconds later by GFE.
Dang it!
Haha.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Nice grass growth.
And how about the funniest thing in that where the first thing you get in Link's house was bombs, but it's a casual boot start, so you don't need them?
That's casual boots for you.
Yeah. We have a question chat where Blue Cane was. We have no clue. We never found that.
It's somewhere. I mean, everything's somewhere, man.
Probably Ice or Meyer at this point, or we never even saw the tablets either. Well, we couldn't. We had no book for the longest time.
Wait, you guys found book?
No,
Somebody-
we didn't. So we couldn't even check the tablets. But with that said, is there anything else anyone here would like to say about the seed before we close out?
Just thanks for hosting and thanks for comms, restream, tracking, all that good stuff.
Yep, I'll echo that. Thanks to all the SG crew as always, and thanks to chat. Hopefully, I can last locate again for you sometime.
And always remember to check mini Helmasaur room. Always.
With that said, folks, yeah, that is gonna put the bow on this quite exciting episode of the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. Let me pull up the schedule here to say that if you are looking for more speed gaming action on queue for later this afternoon, we currently have... we're about to start Hollow Knight Rando on Channel 2 with Mario Kart 64 on the main channel. We've actually got a Metroidvania Marathon going on as well on the main Speed Gaming channel starting at 5. They'll start with Mega Man ZX Advent at 5, followed by AM2R at 6:10. Now that should be a good one. I do love some good AM2R.
I don't believe I've seen AM2R restreamed before on the Speed Gaming Network. That will be worth checking out.
But yeah, there's a lot of Metroid on, especially on queue for the remainder of this afternoon and evening. So, folks, plenty to see on Speed Gaming. We should be back with our Link to the Past Randomizer daily races with our open weekly on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think we play the open week. I don't think we share the open weeklies on Sundays anymore. We just have
yes.
the one daily race on Monday to Friday now. So the next
That's
time
right.
you'll be seeing Link to the Past by itself will be 9 p.m. Eastern on Monday. I don't know what the Speed Gaming channel will be yet. I don't know what modes is yet. That will probably go up on Sunday, but we do have the schedule posted for when the races will be for next week. Just don't know what they will be yet. If you do want to see some more Link to the Past action fairy, we will see it mixed in with a little bit of Super Metroid on Sunday at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern, I think it is. But
3
pretty
p.m.
likely
Eastern.
pretty likely to see you there, Captain MD13, because I think you do those pretty much every week.
It depends on how my schedule's working and if power gets back to my apartment within a reasonable hour. Long story.
You've got a power. Oh, you've got a power outage, and that's nasty.
Yeah, I'm seeking refuge elsewhere while it gets itself sorted out. No big deal.
But yeah, if you do want to see some crossover rando, that will be taking place on 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Otherwise, please join us on 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday for the next daily race. And I think that's, I will wish you all well, if you're living over in the US, I wish you all a good afternoon or good evening. And if you're living here in Europe, like I am, I will wish you all a good night.
Yeah, one more thing though before we close out, and that is once again follow our runners again, Laria of Light, GFE 12, Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna, and the Fear Agent for putting on a fantastic show for you this afternoon. And a big shout out because we didn't get a chance to do this all match because so much was happening. But big shout outs to our trackers, Etanar and Red Arimir. I'm so sorry, I'm not good with that name yet. But yeah, Tanner and Red Arimir have been the main button pushers this afternoon, making sure everybody knows who has what. So props to them. They've been a great help today, especially being put to work after the slow start we had. So with that said, yes, we do wish you a good rest of your day, and we will see you next time. Take care, folks.